In this film, I want to show how Mr. Trump has used a well-worn sales technique to gain support for his candidacy. Always be closing.
A, always be B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
To win the Republican primary, Mr. Trump has employed that three-step approach. A, always prime your audience. Introduce yourself as the hero. B, create the monster. And C, close the deal by offering the solution on how to defeat that monster. This is the same narrative that will be used in Hollywood as seen in many films such as Independence Day or Star Wars. Trump, fighting for the oppressed against the corrupt and evil empire, has cast himself as the hero, with an exaggerated narrative that he has helped to create with a little help from his friends. So let's get back to step one, priming your audience. Priming is used a lot by advertisers who are pushing a brand. The idea is to associate certain feelings with a product over time, and then that association will affect the way you behave, think, or perceive that product in the present. So over the last 40 years, Mr. Trump has projected himself as a champion of the American dream, anti-China, or in the 1980s, anti-Japan, a patriot, and someone who's incredibly successful. More recently, he primed a section of society through appearances on Fox News and has increased his reach through the alt-right movement, where he positioned himself as the leading birther. All of this past action has primed a section of the public. Step 2. Create the monster. Mr. Trump creates the monster by using very specific sales devices. He invents new problems and greatly exaggerates current ones. How? Well, Mr. Trump needs a powerful response if he's to lock people in, and so he uses incendiary language.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
He distorts information.
Don't believe those phony numbers when you hear 4.9 and 5% unemployment.
And he generalizes threats.
I think Islam hates us.
Now, the first response these techniques will elicit is humiliation, which leads to anger. The second response is fear, which leads to anxiety. The state those responses create is helplessness.
America's got to get behind him. Without America getting behind Donald Trump, we're going to lose, and we're going to lose bigger than this flood ever did.
As in sales and marketing, when these feelings are aroused, they bypass the rational part of the brain, and because they're unsettling, they create a strong desire for pain relief. Mr. Trump, as the hero, provides this relief by being unequivocal in his belief that he alone will be successful in eradicating these painful emotions. Step 3. Destroy the monster. So how does Mr. Trump convince his supporters that he can destroy the monster? Well, as a salesman, he uses the technique of simplification.
We need to build a wall.
Studies have shown that if something is easy to process, it is seen as more truthful. Also, simplification delivered in a decisive manner offers the opportunity for the viewer to feel a rare satisfaction.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Trump simplifications are helping low-information voters to feel that there are solutions to complex problems that dog their daily lives. His vision is attractive and emotionally visceral. So in summary, the best way for Trump to always be closing is to present himself as the hero, remind people that there are monsters everywhere, and assure people he is the only one with the strength and vision who can solve the problem.